guests will come and they will blow your mind. The audience will do so in kind. A little vanity mixed with some insanity on the morning show with GMP. Hey, Gumpers.
Hola, bon dia, alegria. Munson here with the Good Morning Portugal show, a live stream and podcast. How are you today? I'm going to zoom out a little bit if that's going to be possible with the software. There you go. That's better, isn't it? Just you and me for the first half hour or so. Then we'll have a lovely chat with Alyson Sheldrake in the Algarve. She, of course, the creator of Snapshot. And we'll take a look at the November edition. Yes, it's November, in case you'd forgotten. We're a week in to the month of November. Soon be Christmas. Shut up, Carl. Yes, all aboard the Allegri. How's it going? Do let me know. Yes, and I saw that comment yesterday. That's so funny. Antonio F. The Citroën Ami, the electric Papa Reformas. Now, you'll have seen these, the little cars that old geezers in Portugal drive. Not the Portuguese, but old geezers. Antonio, why do the old fellas favour that car? They're not cheap, are they? They're very expensive, it seems. But are they cheap to insure? Do you not actually have to have a license to drive one? What's the deal with the little cars that you can tell they're coming because you can hear them? They sound like they've got two-stroke engines, and then there'll be an old fella in there, maybe his wife going to the market or something like that. I heard they were the Matavelhas as well, the old geezer killers too. But I believe Papa Reformas is the same idea too. Do let us know. Lord and Lady Travanka have just popped in. Coach Turner was in early doors, as was James. How are you, James? Feliz Quinta a todos with your bon dia, Gumpers. Como estás? A correr o vosso dia. How's your day going? And the coach, bon dia. Yeah, nice and easy going. I have caught up with my sleep. I went to bed, I think, at about midday yesterday, and had a pretty good kip, apart from people flipping waking me up to see if I was going to be sleeping any longer. Isn't that annoying? Are you going to be sleeping much longer? Or people needing this and that? And I did sleep through to about 7 o'clock, off and on. And when I got up at 7 o'clock last night, it was like it was already Thursday. I don't know if that happens to everybody who takes a really long sleep in the day, but it felt like another day. And that I was getting up and actually going to the supermarket in the darkness. So it really felt like a new day to me. And I quite like doing that. I remember when I used to publish a magazine, I used to stay up all night getting that finished. And I'd cycle home or I'd walk home in much earlier than it, probably before after the sun had come up, but before everyone else had got up. And I'd be ahead of the day. I'd have lost a night's sleep. And the word I used to describe that feeling yesterday to Mrs. M was unmoored. My moorings had been cut, and my normal my sense of reference to time was cut, and that's how I felt last night. And I actually quite like it every now and then. It brings new ideas and ways of seeing and being as well. So I quite liked it, and a nice solid night's sleep last night. But as I think you can hear, my voice is still a little bit raspy after speaking for pretty much 15 hours the night before. So maybe I'll give it a rest. Maybe that'll come as a welcome break to Mrs. M. If I just say, look, I'm just resting. Actually, no, I've got a lovely lunch to go to today. It's not likely to happen for a little while yet. Anyway, how are you doing? Bondi Gumpers. Feliz Quinta, back to training and coaching this afternoon. But that will be the last time for a couple of weeks. Of course, we're looking forward to a break in Madeira next Wednesday, back to Portugal, of course. And let's look at the God Squad 2 of the day a little bit later on today. We'll do that probably before Ali gets here, because it easily, half an hour easily passes when we're having a look at Snapshot. And not any old Snapshot, but our very own Gumper version of it, the Gumper remix of Snapshot magazine. So looking forward to popping to the Algarve in a little while. We'll take a look at how the English-speaking Portuguese press has responded to the American election as well in just a moment. Mr. S, good to see more of you just recently. And you give us a bom dia prezados membros deste canal. Espero a vosso dia corra otimamente. I've not seen that word before. It is you, Mr. S, isn't it, with your rather traditional turn of Portuguese phrase. And I suspect that you're hoping that the day is going well for the Gumpers here, the prezados membros of this channel. Bom dia a todos from Antonio as well. How are you doing, Antonio? How would you, as a Portuguese man, Portuguese resident person, summate? Is that the word? Is that even a word? Summarize the Portuguese reception to the American election. Bom dia, Portugal, from João Ernesto across the valley. How are you this morning, John? And Gemini Bradshaw also in this morning too. Excellent. And a lovely big greeting for you, Antonio, from James as well. That's a big old bom dia, Antonio, this morning. Barakin, as I said, and Marcus. Morning to you, Marcus. Bom dia, alegria from the PT Country Bear. Wake up! It's time for you. Yes, nurse to the hospital patient. Wake up! It's time for your sleep medication. I'm sure that goes on. For the discerning 14-year-old person, Diggers is a year away from wanting one. Wow! So you can be 14 and drive one of those little vehicles as well, can you? The AMI. We'll have a look at that. Carl, the normal Papa Reformas Matavelhos are popular among some people because you don't need a normal driver's license. There you go. I thought so. But the easier one, enough for small motorcycles, scooters. Okay, so you just need a motorcycling scootering license. And those cars, in inverted commas, can cost some 12 grand to 15 grand. I thought so. I see them at the, you see them at a country fair, don't you? If you go along to a country fair, you'll see them parked up there. And I've seen, prices like that. The AMI, oh, wow, only costs 8,000. However, they can't be used on highways or similar fast roads. Well, thank goodness for that. They do cut a dash in town, and I know people who like the look of them. It's a two-seater, isn't it? And it looks like it's got. Let me see if I can bring it up on the on Citroen's Portuguese website for you. Yeah, I can do that. It looks like they've got a massive USB plug on the side of them, don't they? Let's have a quick look at this. I think it's really nice. I think they you can personalize it as well for your 8,000. They are going to be terrible on our twisty mountain roads. I think it's an urban experience, isn't it? Especially given the penchant of locals to overtake on blind bends. You need to put your foot down, and that is not the car for acceleration. Or maybe, I don't know. Actually, I haven't driven it. And maybe with an electric acceleration and it being a small car, it can be like the proverbial off a shovel. Rolling box is a good description. And Ubi's with us as well. Bon dia todos. How are you, Ubi? Nice to see you when we were doing our marathon as well. I can't remember if I acknowledged you overnight, the night before last, which seems like a long time ago now. So let's have a look at this car. Would you or wouldn't you be seen in this, or seen in a certain condition in this? Some people really just wouldn't, basically. And there's a button to press here. Let's have a look at it. My AMI Peps. 75 kilometers. I guess that's what you get from a charge on that 75 kilometers. That's enough to get to the shops and back, isn't it? Oh, I see. You can just, that's how that button works. You can spin it round. How exciting. Do you remember in about 1995 when you could first do things like this on computers and well, maybe the internet wasn't quite like this then, but this would have been an amazing thing to be able to do, wouldn't it, in the 90s? And look, we just take it for granted now that we can mess about with computer graphics. I remember the first computer video I saw. I thought, blimey, that's incredible. And now it just seems so normal, doesn't it? Well, now we've got YouTube. Oh, and you can look at the different, different color schemes. There you go. You could probably check out. There's the it's a sticker. It's not even a physical detail. It says just a sticker that you put on there. The USB. That's it, and it's naked grey. I think that's what I would get if I was to get one at all. And there it is with the USB on the side. What's that? My opinion is important to Citroën. Is it really? I wonder. You don't even know me. What you're talking about? Oh, and what's the equipamento adicional that you can get as well? 140 kilograms maximum cargo space. Oh, they're showing how you can pack it full of stuff there. Then it looks like you can put a body bag in it as well. Could be useful, couldn't it? Could put 3 cardboard boxes. Colin will like that. Whenever we test a car, he likes to bring his luggage along. And you can arrange a test drive and you can configure your own AMI and kit cargo there. A kit cargo. I don't know what that's about. personal and professional options on the website as well. It is 100% electric, and as Antonio says there, well, it's nearly 9 grand, isn't it? There with your 75 kilometers. Two opinions have been given here on Citroën Advisor, giving it only a ranking of 2.5 out of 5. So they perhaps need to get a few more happy customers onto that website there. There you go. It does resemble a 1970s roller skate, especially the wheels. It just needs a rubber stopper at the front. Maybe an option you can buy. Well, Jackie says I would need 2, 1 for each cheek. Wow. Spoiler alert, we saw one at Fnac, and I would not be seen in it. I wouldn't fit in it. Says Marcus. Yes, it is not built for the full-sized gentleman, is it? I don't think. 14-year-olds going down, rolling back down twisty mountain roads. Bad enough with the Papa Reformas pickup trucks. It has a maximum speed of 38, and that is less than a third of my cruise control speed. I can already hear Pete shouting, "Get out of the way!" And the front and back doors are interchangeable, handy for Portuguese prangs. Wow, that could be quite useful, couldn't it? And to confuse people. It must be weird. People must get confused there, which end to get in and out of. It's one of those sort of cars, isn't it? And pop a wheelie to stop with that. Maybe that's how it works. Don't laugh. It'd be cool if you could swivel the seat around in different directions. Not when you're going along at 38, though. No reverse needed, just forward again in the opposite direction. I think in a funny sort of way, we like this vehicle. There you go. Vehicle of the week for Good Morning Portugal. Should we send that clip to Citroën, see if we can borrow one? If they'll let us test drive it, that could be fun. But yeah, Colin and I could fit in there together. Only just though. He's 6 foot. He's 6'18" or something. So I don't think it's going to be a comfortable ride for Mr. Ross Jones, who, by the way, when he joins us next time, he'd like you to talk about your first car. And thanks, James, for the picture already. Amy, no, our wheelie pin is bigger. Okay, so it's not getting the Gumper seal of approval this morning. Okay, let's forget about the Amy for the time being and go to this time yesterday morning, maybe a little bit earlier. I was looking at the English-speaking Portuguese press, those two papers, the Portugal News and the Portugal Resident, and having a look to see how the American election was responded to. Algarve rural fire debate on there. It's just not a big deal here, is it, in Portugal American election? I can't even find anything here yet on the Portugal News. Maybe they didn't even cover it at all here. 41 arrests in the Algarve. What would that be for? Socks and sandals, I suspect. There was an earthquake and tsunami simulation that passed me by. I'm kind of glad, actually. But can't see. Ryanair winter routes are announced. That could be quite useful to have a look at this morning, couldn't it? Portugal, a complete destination, tourist destination for the British. I think that's because we have a new guide to how to say Worcester sauce this morning. Let me bring that to you. Thank you very much, T-Duck, for spotting this and sharing this, because we know this can cause trouble, especially to the American Gumpers here. So if you remember it like this, it was the best of shires. It was the worst of shires. Worcestershire. Actually, Worcestershire. It's nearly there. Worcestershire sauce is the full title. Worcester sauce is how most people speak of it. But look at that. Isn't that nice? Rural idyll there in the United Kingdom, England. It's a very English thing. Let's face it. Those look like constable paintings, do they not? To be fair, if you were 14, it would be fun. Not Worcester sauce, no license, essentially a golf cart that does 38. Bon dia to you, Pam, as well. I really did enjoy that experience. And as I say, it's quite discombobulating. And I like it from that point of view, staying up and not having a sleep from time to time. And I think it's important to make up for that sleep, of course. It's vital, isn't it, to the body and the well-being. And it was really quite an experience, I have to say. Really enjoy working with the Portuguese. He's a very naughty boy. He really is. Right, so back to the Portugal News then to see if there is any coverage. I don't think there is. I don't think they're bothering with it on the Portugal News there. Maybe they did. Maybe it's a long buried news item. There's a new. They'd rather report about the new Algarve heliport. Pictures of that you can't actually get bitcoins like that, can you? If you can, they're not really worth anything, except maybe probably as a rare collector's item, but not in any sort of crypto value. I wouldn't have thought. IKEA to launch reselling platform in Portugal. Oh, that's interesting. Second-hand IKEA stuff. I don't think IKEA stuff necessarily weathers very well, does it? Let's have a look at that in just a moment as well. But I couldn't see anything about the earthquake training or awareness day. And perhaps it was only happening in places where they thought it was especially useful. What are these pictures on here? Women's leather trousers. I haven't ordered women's leather trousers for a long time. Why are these on here? And what is that funny USB thing? Oh my goodness. This is what they think a man of my age would be interested in, presumably. A tightly fitting white t-shirt as well. The municipalities of Portimão and Silves will be the setting for an exercise today, 5th of November. So this has happened, and there was talk of it, and good to see that it did happen somewhere. Test the readiness of the Algarve civil protection in the event of an earthquake and tsunami. Okay, so that went ahead. And as far as I'm aware, it was the only place in Portugal where that went ahead. Well, no, I shouldn't say that. It's the only place I can see any reporting of such an event. Go back to then the IKEA story. Are they actually going to flog old IKEA stuff? You can put your old IKEA stuff in for selling there. Come on, where are you? Where's this story? Oh, intermittent fasting as well. I'm being advertised. IKEA pre-owned. Okay, interesting. That's a platform for selling the brand's items. It's expected to be in Portugal by August of next year. What's happening here? My PC, my mouse at least is being acting strange. In August, then announced the test launch of the IKEA pre-owned platform in Spain and Norway. Ana Barbosa, head of sustainability at IKEA Portugal, states that the company has the ambition to launch the platform by Portugal in Portugal by August next year. We also want to launch it in Portugal very soon. We want it to be as quick as possible. We want it to be in this fiscal year. That is from September to August, said the company's sustainability manager in a report by Echo. The platform allows the format of other companies on the market, such as eBay or OLX, but is exclusively for IKEA customers to resell their used furniture to other customers of the brand. According to the company, the seller can choose to receive the money by bank transfer or through a voucher to spend at an IKEA. I've pronounced it in various ways, IKEA store. Wow. Okay. Well, some of those things will be a bit shabby by the time they've got to IKEA pre-owned, I suspect. Anyway, thank you very much, Portugal News. No bother there with the American election. I do know for a fact that the Portugal resident took a look. What's Natasha Don made of it all, I wonder? I imagine she'll be glad to see RFK Jr. In the cabinet. Political figures congratulate Donald Trump on resounding presidential victory. Is the headline over there from yesterday. Shaker hails US turn to right, saying Europe must do the same. Portugal's political figures have wasted little time in congratulating Donald Trump on what looks like a resounding victory in the US presidential elections. Not only has 78-year-old Mr. Trump secured his place as the 47th president of the United States of America, he appears to have won the popular vote, something that did not happen in his victory in 2016 over Hillary Clinton, and secured the Republicans a majority in the Senate too. Congratulating them. I have this tweet actually from Luis Montenegro, congratulating, and that's what's important, I think, here is to see how the our government here is responding to that change of government over there. And I've got the whole tweet here from Senor Montenegro somewhere here. Yes, I'll pop that on the screen in just a moment as well. Let's get back to Natasha Don's reporting of it. Congratulating the next leader of the free world, Portugal Prime Minister. How long will that little phrase, the leader of the free world, work, I wonder? Portugal Prime Minister, because the reason I say that is because a lot of other places imagine themselves to be free as well. The world's changed a lot, hasn't it? I think it's fair to say, since that phrase was common currency. Portugal Prime Minister Luís Montenegro wrote over X social network, "I look forward to working closely with you within the spirit of the long-standing and solid relationship between Portugal and the United States, as featured in Gloria, of course, bilaterally and at NATO." A little hint there, and multilateral level. I think there's more. There was more to his tweet than that, I think, which, having saved, I appear to have lost now. Where are you? Oh, here it is. Let me bring that onto the screen as well. Yes. Oh, no, that's it. It's fairly simple and straightforward there. One of the world's politicians, I don't know this for sure, but he may be one of the global politicians who hasn't said loads of snarky things previously that are being brought to our attention now, in the way that other figures like David Lammy, the foreign foreign secretary of the United Kingdom, said some pretty out there, outspoken, and lavatorial references to Donald Trump. And then, of course, yesterday had to say a similar thing to this. "Oh, I so look forward to working with you." President Marcelo has also extended his congratulations, wishing Mr. Trump well for his new term. And of course, I don't have that video, but it was Marcelo who shook Trump's hand in a way that no other world leader was able to. He got him, didn't he? Really, when it comes to the Trump handshaking, Marcelo is what is up there as the winner by far in how he got hold of Donny and gave him a good shaking. It's a really brilliant bit of video if you can see it. So he was writing, or Lusa reported Marcelo writing about affirming the strength of the transatlantic. This is the quote from Marcelo: "The transatlantic relationship, democracy, human rights, the construction of sustainable peace and progress." Well done, Marcelo. In the same note, excuse me, Portugal's president recalls the fact that "I shook your hand and pulled you around the room." No, he didn't say that really, but he actually did in real life. Portugal's president recalls the fact that Portugal was the first neutral country to recognize the independence of the United States of America, the importance of the Portuguese community in this country, as well as the collaboration during his first term, namely the meeting at the White House in 2018 and during the pandemic. So there you go. I was struggling to find signs. Hey, look at this advertising, a toilet seat. I think maybe it heard our conversation that we were having, Peter, on Monday, about toilets, toilet paper, Japanese toilets, etc. Or is that referring to the IKEA? Let's see if we can change the adverts live whilst I'm speaking. What shall I say? For some reason, what comes to mind is a lizard. Like a lizard. Those. I was going to say salamander, but that might bring up a stove on here, mightn't it? Chameleon. I wonder if I'm going to see some adverts for a chameleon, because I'd really love to buy a chameleon. Let's see if that changes with my advertising on the screen. I don't really want to buy a chameleon, by the way. If anyone was thinking of buying one for me and sending it to me, please, I do not need a chameleon right now. As fabulous as they are, namely the meeting at the White House in 2018 and during the pandemic. So there you go, Marcelo and his recollection of their working relationship previously. But it has been Shager, of course, who appears to have taken the most from Trump's win, calling the result a great victory. Party leader Andre Ventura wrote also over X. It's interesting, over X, over X, on X, over X. How do you like your X in the morning? Over X, please. Against the interests of the established system, against the traditional media, against woke globalism. America changed today and turned right. Europe must, I don't know if Bono's turned right or if he has driven over the cliff as he promised if Trump won. Europe must do the same. I imagine quite a few celebrities are meeting in Hollywood for lunch today to figure out how they're going to adjust their lifestyles, their futures in America. Stand by, Gilda. You might be getting a few calls from the likes of Harrison Ford and J-Lo and Bono to check out how it might be to move over to Portugal. His sentiments have been noted by media commentators who suggest certain European leaders will be fairly rattled by the result, which is still coming through. But essentially all clear by 8:30 a.m. Mr. Trump had secured 267 electoral votes, against 224 for his Democratic opponent, Kamala Harris. He was also leading the count in all the key swing states, still without a declared winner. And she of course, not resigned. What's the word? I still didn't get an answer to the question, who's in charge in America at the moment? Is Joe Biden still the president or not? Political figures on, because of course, Trump doesn't actually take the reins, does he? Or the steering wheel until January of next year. So who's in charge at the moment? Where's Joe? Political figures on Portugal's left are taking their time to react to today's news so far, keeping very quiet. Okay, and it's you conceded. She conceded yesterday, didn't she, Kamala Harris? And she kept saying hates you. I was thinking, why is she saying she hates me? That was her university, wasn't it? HU. Is it Howard University? Alma Mater. Anyway, there's the coverage. Let's go for a couple of comments before we go to Ali, who's with us in the Algarve. Of course, we're taking a look at our very special, our unique copy of Snapshot, which we love to do on the first Thursday of every month. The lads, normally in Lisbon, not, I don't think, today, are unable. They're busy project working, so they can't join us this morning. But lots of love to them. James, I cannot take pronunciation guides from you on Worcestershire sauce, my friend. I'm going to, what's the word? I'm going to impose myself and seniority in this matter when it comes to the Worcestershire sauce as a British person here. How very dare you, sir? Yes. Have you eaten HP sauce since being a child? No, I have. Have you eaten Marmite? Have you splashed Worcestershire sauce on your tomato juice? No, I suspect not. It's one of the first things my mother gave me was Worcestershire sauce, I think, possibly. We have some strange punishments in the UK. There's one of those funny little cars. They're very noticeable, aren't they? There's one in Algarve. All-nighters always were, but mine were a bit different. Yes, the white powder. I'm talking about talcum powder for the Northern Soul dancers, of course. What powder did you think I meant? Leicester and Worcestershire are issues, but given that Shire Reeves were the law and is common US term, it still puzzles me. There you go. Pete is puzzled Pete of Fundao. It must be advertising due to your cookies, Carl. How dare you suggest that, Pete? Maybe browse latex wear on another browser or clear cookies. You would know, Peter, the ever-reliable and universal duck and cover drill for earthquake, tsunami, and nuclear bombs, good since 1950. Is it secondhand in Portugal? Therefore, it'll be twice as expensive. That's true. That's true. If ever you want a VHS player to play your old VHS tapes, you can find them at a Portuguese car boot, but it will cost you like €300 for one of those, probably. I went to IKEA on Monday. Well, you could be able to flog that stuff in months to come if you don't want it anymore, or next year, I think. Wow, you escaped early. Yeah, why aren't you still wandering around in there lost? I did end up doing 2 laps of the place. It's ideal if you like counting your steps. And even buying something, Pam. I think they want you to buy something as well as using it as a gym. Apologies, I vastly overestimated the top speed of the Ami. It's a staggering 27.8. That 0.8 is important, isn't it? Maybe faster off a few cliffs here. That's about the top speed of my e-bike on a flat road. Wow. Just looked up IKEA pre-owned. And what a great scheme, says Jackie. I love IKEA. And get lost in the brightly coloured plastics area for hours on end. Is that because you wear brightly coloured plastics yourself and you're kind of camouflaged in there and you're lost for hours? Leave it without looking at everything. Can't leave it without looking at everything. Yeah, if you're that kind of person that has to pick up everything and look at it, it must be a nightmare shopping with you. Should we bring back the America first, Portugal second video? Well, yes, why not? I'd like to see. Is that him shaking Trump's hand? Is that the one? Or was that another one? That would be a cool drag race. My money would be on you and the e-bike. Oh, come on. They're doing their best for a $9,000 all-electric car there. Joe still is in charge, and Kamala in the back, or Kamala in the background there. Neil McCoy Ward, great economics channel. Yeah, but he always says the same thing, doesn't he? They've gone and done it this time. This time, this is it. It's clickbait. It's like it ain't what it used to be. It's filing from Portugal, filming possibly Friday. He won't come and see me because of all the banter I've put on his channel, winding him up about This is probably my last visit to London. Oh, the orange Twinkie, the newborn king, is crowned in January. The orange Twinkie. Barack is not over it yet, as we can see from his comment there. Come on, when are we gonna start afresh here? They had barely got the ketchup off the walls and noticed they aren't looting the building and no claims of election tampering or violence before issuing the lashing. Keep reading before issuing the okay, all right, sorry. I never do that, James. Why should I start now? US dear leader is no longer burdening us with the odious task of voting. He's unburdened. Consumer prices and gas prices will be halved overnight. Ukraine war of aggression will end. Look, come on, calm down. HP is the gift from God. Yes, really is. Even at $2.99, it's it's delicious. I do like it on my bangers. Which, by the way, oh my God, what have I said in America? If I like, I like to splash it. I like to splash some brown on my bangers. What does that mean in America? I said it now. The cat's out the bag. It's so refreshing. I'm always talking about clothes and disgusting things before Ali joins me as well. What? I don't do it every morning, honestly, Ali. I plead ignorance about the Portuguese wranglings of most local issues. Not forever, but so satisfying. And wages will double each month. That's right. From January. Get ready, America. I, for one, would love a chat with you about sea life. I did it myself for a little while, but nothing as impressive as your travels. Who's you talking to there? Maybe probably Pete. It was an American pronunciation, so still very accurate. You stand corrected. I do again, not again. I mean, how many times can you stand corrected without having to sit back down again? Right, let's give her a nice big round of applause. Ali, good morning to you.
Good morning. Good morning.
I do hope you didn't have to hear all of that disgusting talk earlier on.
I heard it all the bangers, everything. Yeah, I was there.
Okay, I'm sure we will be told what bangers are in America and other places. How are you, Tudo bem? Como estás? How's it going?
I'm all right. Well, we both had stinking colds, which meant for the last week I've been going around saying "estou constipada," which the 5-year-old in my head giggles every time I say it.
It's worth it just to have a cold, isn't it? To be able to say that.
Just to be constipada for the week.
Yes. Yeah. Did you have a toss as well?
No, not too bad a toss. No. It's terrible, isn't it? I'm 5 years old when I have a cold in Portugal.
Oh, me too. So, sometimes I get to 10, 8, 9 or 10 even, but always come.
You either estou constipada or you're tenho constipação. So you can be either. You can either be constipated or you can have constipation. Take your pick.
How lovely. And I've yet to go to the pharmacist to ask for any medication on that basis, but I don't think I'd be able to keep a straight face if I ever have to do that.
If you need the other one, it's obstipada, apparently.
The other one, thank you.
The other one, the other end, that end.
Now, it sounds very echoey with you. Do you have a choice of microphones on your devices? Have you got anything a little bit closer to you?
No, I've got this one that literally is here, so I should be all right.
It sounds like you're talking to your webcam mic, possibly, rather than that one you just held up. Is that possible? Could you give it a tap, that one that you just held up? Yeah, you're not actually talking through that, I don't think. Now, if you go into the settings on the screen, it's probably going to give you a choice of mics to speak through. And that'll be because I want to be able to talk to you about this our lovely own version. No, not yet. Not yet. We will go with whatever we have, but you should have a choice of that one. Is it plugged in? Is it plugged in at the other end?
Yes, it's plugged in. Yes.
There it is. That's perfect.
Oh, that's it. There you go. It was about
you were talking.
Sorry about that.
No, not at all. It sounds so much better.
I know. I bought it specially. Look, see, very nice posh one as well.
It is. It's got a light on it as well.
Sorry?
Has it got a light on it?
Yes, it's got a light when I'm talking, so I know when it's.
Fantastic.
So I should have actually noticed that, shouldn't I? But it's down below.
Well, that is a clue. That is a clue.
Shush. Okay. Do you know what's another clue? And I've never realised it until recently. HP source.
Yeah.
The HP stands for Houses of Parliament.
Oh, yeah. Did you not know that?
I hadn't clicked. No, duh.
There's also a clue there. There are the Houses of Parliament on the label.
I might be the only one, but there you go. I've owned up now.
I'm sure you're not. I'm sure you're not the only one. What is the flavour? There's molasses in there, and there's a particular fruit, isn't there, that's in there that gives it that nice flavour. It's a fruity chutney, isn't it? In a way?
The boy wonder loves it, not me. He's always chucking it on his sausages.
Which, incident, in case that remains a mystery, that's what we do call sausages bangers for some unknown reason. Goodness only knows why. Are you able to?
I cook them. That might have something.
Oh, I see. Yeah, quick, give us the HP.
Oh,
right. Now, you're able to get a decent sausage.
It just drops down below the gutter very quickly with us, doesn't it, Carl? It's a wonder we're allowed on air.
I'm guessing you can get decent sausages in the Algarve.
Fabulous bangers in the Algarve, thank you. Yes, Icelandic.
So I've heard.
Yeah, overseas supermarket.
And I like a few fried potatoes. If you get a fried egg, some fried potatoes left over from last night, your boiled potatoes, put them in, fry them up in some butter, maybe a few herbs. So definitely some salt and pepper, sausages, bit of bacon, some beans, hash browns if you're feeling transatlantic. Then you've got to have the HP. You've got to have a splash.
The only thing I didn't understand was the bit you said, leftover potatoes. What's leftover? How does that happen?
That doesn't. Yeah, I understand. Some of the potatoes you've set aside for that purpose. Then.
Oh yeah, like that's going to happen.
It's not, is it?
No, I can only eat sweet potatoes. Dave can have normal potatoes, but I'm a sweet potato girl.
Of
they're
course.
Not nightshades. Yeah, they're okay for me. I can't eat normal potatoes. Are one of the worst things I can eat. That and tomatoes.
Yes, and aubergines or something like that. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, there's a whole list. Yeah, peppers. There's a whole range of wonderful nightshades that I can't go near.
What about cabbage? You all right with cabbage?
Cabbage is good. Do you know what? I went to my herbalist last week just for a routine
Hold
meeting.
on a minute, you've got a herbalist in Portugal?
Yeah, she's fantastic in Messina. She's in Algarve. Anybody wants her contacts, I will give you the details.
We need her details. I know people who'd love to speak to her.
She's fantastic. Yeah, just message me or come at the bottom of the screen and I'll put her details. She's amazing. Lovely. But you know what she came out with this time? Because my knee's still quite swollen and quite, you can feel the inflammation. It's actually, you can feel the heat on the parts of the joint where it's still inflamed. And she went, cabbage. So I said, love you too. And what on earth is all about?
I love it when you call me that.
Get some fresh cabbage, get a big cabbage leaf and literally put it onto your knee, leave it for half an hour. So I just sat on the sofa and read for a while. And she said, it might not work. It doesn't work with everyone. But she said, if it does work, you'll know. Boy, blimey, after half an hour, this cabbage leaf was like, it was a nice, fresh, kind of crisp leaf when I put it on my knee. By the time I peeled it off again, it was like this limp lettuce. And it was hot. It had actually taken all the heat from my knee, pulled it out, and the cabbage leaf was literally not just warm, it was hot. Yes. And I was like, whoa, I would not have a clue. And then I thought, actually, I remember my mum as a kid doing something with cabbage leaves. And I'm like, because she had bad elbows and knees, I'm sure she had rheumatoid arthritis, but it was never diagnosed. But she used to put cabbage leaves on, and I'm like, it's such an old-fashioned, crazy remedy.
Easily discounted,
yeah, absolutely. So
I've seen it post breastfeeding with soreness of the boobs after breastfeeding.
Yeah, and it's supposed to be really good for that.
It is, yeah, that's right. And perfectly shaped, perfectly formed as well. Of course, a cabbage.
Perfect knee shape, perfect boob shape. It's perfect. We're being rude again now, aren't we?
Well,
sausages and boobs.
Where my mind is going with this.
I dread to think, but keep going. I'm enjoying it.
I'm wondering where you could apply a Brussels sprout leaf, but that wasn't where my mind was going originally. Dave, why has Dave got 2 Brussels sprout leaves? Don't need to know. No, but you could make an entire garment, is what I was thinking. Out of you can make a.
No, you won't need your swimming trunks soon. You can just have some cabbage leaves.
Therapeutic. I'm thinking therapeutic, maybe with some seaweed. I mean, when you go in the water, and it's probably the same. It is the same in some of your beaches, isn't it? With the seaweed, it can get out of hand, and you come out looking like some kind of creature from a Marvel comic, don't you? If you're not careful.
Yeah.
Seaweed man, as shores. But all of these things are very helpful, aren't they? There's a guy in San Martino here who wants to make garments with seaweed in because of the iodine benefit. And I was just thinking, a cabbage suit would be amazing. Yeah, I've heard of it for breastfeeding. You keep it in the you got to cool it down. Did you put the cabbage leaves in the freezer or the fridge first to help?
No. Because I just literally I went to the market. Actually, I thought I'll get a nice organic one. Literally just brought it home and slapped it straight on my knee. But I couldn't believe the heat.
You can cool it as well. Yeah, you can cool it as well, which will give you some extra benefit. What a lovely thing to share with people this morning.
Cool. Yes.
Right. Okay. Let's have a look at Snapshot. Then, shall we? A lovely cover. George O'Keeffe-esque, I would say at first glance. Beautiful poppy on the front there, isn't there?
I'm very pleased because literally that's a painting of mine and it sold yesterday.
Did it? Wow. Nice. All you need to do is stick it on the cover and off it goes.
It sells. Yeah, perfect, isn't it?
Wow,
yeah,
amazing.
really nice. So it's getting posted off to America this afternoon.
Is it? Is that an easy thing to do? Should people need to know about that?
Well, you have to go online now. You have to go through CTT and you have to fill in about a 5-page form online and get it all printed out before you can go to the post office. And you have to have special codes. You have to know exactly what you're posting. Every single item in the world has a code of some sort. There's a huge website just for that. And now it's really expensive to post abroad. I always feel really guilty with clients when I sort of say it's going to be maybe 37, maybe 50 euros to post.
Good heavens!
Right. It used to be about 17.50 for one of my smaller size paintings, and it's doubled or tripled. And if you go over, I think it's about a 60 by 60 maximum centimeter size, the price goes up massively.
Oh my word! And of course, you'll be probably splashing out on some of the packing materials. Or are these rollable, or do they have to be sent flat?
No, I pack on board, MDF board, so they're flat. They get lots of bubble wrap. And then I buy, actually, Leroy Merlin are really good. They do the packing case boxes, and they do different sizes. So I get one of those. And Dave and I have worked out the perfect system of actually folding cardboard into a box to wrap around.
Very clever.
Very clever. I've never had a problem with a client at the other end saying it's damaged. So we obviously do a good.
I'm glad to hear it. Well, congratulations on that sale as well. And is it true, when you see on a movie like Ocean's 11, 12, whatever, or these movies of those thriller kinds where somebody breaks into an art gallery, and I first time I saw that, and even when I see it now, and they've got a Stanley knife, and they trim it out of the frame, and I'm thinking that's taking some value off it straight away, and then roll it up, chuck it in a backpack. That's not a real. That couldn't be a real thing, could it?
Well, you could do it, but you're right. You're causing a lot of damage. You're never going to be able to repair that. No.
So it's quite hard to pack a whole Mona Lisa and frame into your backpack, I suppose. So here we go. The beaches that we spoke of, not a bit of seaweed in sight here, thankfully. The Three Sisters, beautifully photographed by Dave here. And so men and women featured here, sisters and fellas. Tell us a little bit more about these beaches.
Well, the Treasure Marsh is 3 brothers, isn't it? I think.
Oh, beg your pardon.
So that one's down on the south coast, not far from Praia da Rocha. It's probably the best route. Get to Praia da Rocha and then head sort of the Alvor Praia da Rocha end, and you can see that on the map. It's beautiful at low tide. Treasure Marsh, really, really beautiful. And then we're back over onto the west coast after that. Carriagem, the black and white one. Look, just caught that spray perfectly, didn't it? Really, really nice. And then one of our favourite, this one and the next one over Leaf as well, is Val de Chaumenge. That's the one that's got lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of steps to get down to the beach. Like about, I think it's 285. Correct me if I'm wrong, somebody. Something about that. And that's okay. You trip down 285 steps with all your camera gear, and then you finish your photography, and then you've got to get
all the way up.
Back up again.
Helicopter, please. Yes, amazing, beautiful, and very, very calm there in those pictures. The Valley of the Men.
Yes,
there you go. Very good. Very still pictures, apart from that dramatic one there. That's beautiful. Fantastic.
And then you've got some more. So the one on the left is still the same de Chaumenge. It's just north of Roger, if you're looking on the maps for it. And then Castellagio is one of our local ones, and it's isn't it just stunning at sunset?
It's beautiful. Those figures as well. That's fantastic.
Figures make it. They show you the scale, I think, of the beach and the beauty of it. It's absolutely gorgeous, isn't it? Yeah, really nice. Really like those.
A tourism strapline for Russia. It would be Russia-more. Russia-more.
Yeah.
You like to Russia-more.
You've been rude again.
No, I'm not. I'm being James
Are you
Bond.
sure?
I'm never sure, are we? Oh,
No.
on the matter of HP, that's not it. HP sauce, there you go, was invented in the Houses of Parliament. I love the stuff. I'm not surprised to hear that, Jackie. And a little bit of, you could put dark chocolate in HP and make it pretty special as well, I suspect. HP now stands for higher purchase because it's so expensive. Okay, very good. Excellent, Doug. Good to see you this morning in the Algarve, I suspect, still. So who's Chris Rose?
Oh, he's a wonderful British artist, isn't he? I've followed him for years, and I'm so pleased he agreed to be interviewed. Well, as you can see, he goes out in the field literally to do all his sketching and work, and he paints the most amazing wildlife.
That's not a painting.
That's a painting, mate. You wait till you see the next one on the next page as well. I just cannot believe the detail. It's not just the detail, it's the depth that he creates. I mean, that looks like one of those photos, doesn't it?
Oh, get out of here.
Get out of here. I know. Isn't that just, I just bow. I salute and bow.
Definitely.
This man. I mean, it's ludicrous. And if you can zoom in, or you can actually go on his website and look at his work, when you zoom in on that one on the right hand side particularly, and you see the depth of the rocks that are under the water, and then some of it is the birds. It's just
these are photographs basically, aren't they?
Yeah, they are absolutely stunning, aren't they? He really is a fantastic artist. I love him.
And he likes the sandpiper as well. Now, are the sandpipers the little ones that run backwards and forwards with the waves?
Yes.
They are, aren't they?
They're gorgeous, aren't they? They're so
I love
sweet.
them. And Gabby sent us a little bit of video, or let us use a bit of video of them running back and forth. I think I've got it.
Yeah.
Oh, I've got it somewhere here, maybe.
He does acrylics on oils. I mean, he's just I cannot get enough of his work. I'm just astounded by the quality
It's
of
incredible.
it.
It's incredible. This might be Porto in the rain. That's a really awful noise, isn't it? Porto in the rain. I must have taken off the sandpipers, but they are lovely, mischievous looking little creatures, aren't they?
Yeah, they're gorgeous, aren't they? Yeah.
Well, Chris Rose, love your work. Really marvelous.
Yeah.
And he's in his camo, doesn't he? Gets down there so he doesn't disturb.
He's amazing. Yeah, lots of sketching before he starts the work, but it's just astoundingly beautiful, his work. I really love it. You can imagine just taking your shoes off and walking through that water there, can't you, on the low tide?
Absolutely. And what's he like as a person? I imagine he's very sort of quiet and meditative, given how he goes about things.
Yeah, he was really interesting. He was actually born in Uganda, son of a tea planter.
Wow.
But he's south of England, and he now lives in the Scottish borders, which is probably the perfect place for someone that loves that kind of wildlife, isn't it?
Oh, okay. I'm assuming these are Portuguese pictures, but he travels around the world doing these.
Mostly, I think now Scotland. It's mostly British landscapes.
Scottish landscape. That could easily be the Algarve, couldn't it?
I know it could, couldn't it? It's just.
Well, there you go, Chris Rose, everybody, and hello. Oh, look, haircut
100 times. Yeah, every 4 months, bless her. It's just like having two dogs in one, isn't it?
It is, and the lovely little white chest plate there comes up nice, and on the neck as well.
It's the face on the right.
Oh, look at me! Yes, look at me, Mum.
Mummy, I've had my haircut, and we're celebrating 2 years today. She arrived.
Excellent!
2 years ago today.
Yeah, I love that face.
Little monkey.
Look at me!
Look at me!
I do. Notice anything different? Yes.
She's a darling. Yeah, I love her.
Oh, Storm. Look at old Storm. Here's a mature, I think, adoption here, right?
Beautiful. Well, Storm, actually, she's got one of those faces that looks old, but she was only born 2019, so she's only 5.
Oh,
she's actually younger than Zara, who's coming up to 6.
Okay.
I know.
Tough paper round face there.
Yeah. Previous owner lost their home, handed over to the shelter. Really gentle, playful, lovely girl, really, really sweet. I mean, look at that tummy rub picture. Isn't that just?
Do you meet everybody who appears on this page of Give a Dog a Home?
No, I wish I did. I've got a really good friend who works and goes into the shelter. I've been banned from going because I just bring them all home. Imagine Sarah's face. What? No more, Mum. Just me.
Dave, I've got something in the car. Really? Well, a couple of things, actually. A couple of things.
I liaise up with the lass that runs it, Kerry. And I let her choose every month which one, but she usually, she's never failed me yet. She always sends me, look at the face on that little girl. She's
beautiful storm. Now, is it me, or is there a little bit of a high volume? Not a little bit, actually, a high volume of cats and dogs that need adopting at the moment. I seem to be getting more and more requests to share.
I don't know why particularly. I think a lot more people. I mean, this one, the previous owner lost their home, so they handed it to the shelter, presumably because they probably had to move away or move abroad. I'm finding a lot of people with really sad stories at the moment of why they're giving up their dogs, and that's heartbreaking, isn't it?
It is. Because of course, when you hear about economic news. The reality of that for individuals doesn't happen till sometime after, does it? And maybe that's what we're hearing.
Maybe that's the backlash. I don't know. I mean, I know Joe that runs the Buddy's Legacy that we've been supporting. Who helps people with low income. She's just got a queue of dogs that are all desperately in need of surgery because they've been run over. Or they've been poisoned, and one of them lost their sight. And bless her, she's trying so hard to help as many as she can, but well, how do you choose? You've got 3 dogs lined up on your emails. Which one do you choose to help? But
I can't take any more. I got 2. Got a cat. Cats. We have we're not lucky with cats. Well, the boy cats go and don't come back. Our lady cat who just turned up on the doorstep, she's made herself well and truly at home. Loves talking. Oh my goodness! And in the early hours of the morning as well. I'm here. Wow, wow, wow. Okay. Oh, hold on a minute. I turned over the page before he talked about pairs. They would be nice presented for some reason. I'm thinking on cabbage. Maybe not a good pairing though.
I can't believe you just said that.
I really didn't mean to. I'm so sorry.
You're not even knowing it.
I'm actually embarrassed by that.
Too late. You've done it now. Yes. No
red wine is 5. Oh, is it 5 spice?
I couldn't. Yeah, it's got sugar and wine and cinnamon sticks. I think that's pretty much it. It's a pretty easy thing to do.
It is.
And then simmer.
Again, I don't mean to say this, but I'm interested in people's preferences, soft or hard. I mean, sometimes a pear is nice, crunchy, isn't it? Poached. Got to be a bit softer, isn't it? And melt in the mouth.
I think you're supposed to let them soften if you're going to poach them. I think that's you know me, I can't cook. I rely on Yvonne every month to send me a
How is she? How's Yvonne doing?
I think she's fine. Yeah, she's okay. Yeah, she's good. Yeah.
Marvellous. Right. Are we jumping out of an airplane now onto that landscape?
Well, I'm not going to be, but my friend Fiona did. Brave girl. It's her favourite experience. Alvor is pretty famous.
I can imagine it's amazing. My 2 eldest daughters have done it, and it was a real, literally a high point in their lives. I'm on a roll this morning, aren't I?
I'm not sure. I saw a sausage roll, I think.
Oh yes, boom, Ali. We got to tour this. This is good enough to tour around the country now.
I don't think so, mate.
You find out your first night on stage. When we said this was good enough to tour,
clang. Yeah.
Get off. Right. Oh wow. Okay. So she did. Was it a fundraiser? What's she been up to?
No. One of the questions. I always send a whole range of questions and let people choose which ones they want to answer. So I get different things every month. So one of the things she wanted was just what was your favourite event or experience in the Algarve, and obviously hers was skydiving in Alvor. She said it was breathtaking. Yeah, really amazing. And then the pictures on the next. Yeah, but her favourite attraction is Foyer. So she obviously likes heights because Foyer is the highest point in the Algarve, isn't it?
I've been there. I've been up there in the hills above Montchique. It's incredible. It's so peaceful. It's not like the Algarve you have that immediately comes to mind, is it? It's like miles and miles of like national park up there.
Yeah, absolutely stunning. And you're right, very peaceful, very quiet.
Yes, and I saw an oil beetle for the first time. We sat down at a picnic, and then this science fiction type creature emerged from under our blanket. Everyone's screaming, but it was nice. Apart from that, how amazing is this? What's happening? The best dog book ever. Is this a review for you?
Oh well, no. Well, I get lots of reviews. It was
Yeah.
fantastic. But no, this was on one of my adverts, and it's actually, and I was stunned because I checked. Check, and you think, no, it's a spam or it's a spoof. But no,
That's
it was
not him.
the David Hockney,
Really?
one of the most famous artists in the world. Yeah, who's
Yes, and of course for you, that's a fabulous connection there, isn't it? I saw one of his pictures. It was of his mother and father, and because I find X, formerly Twitter, actually really good for art. And the more you like a particular post, the more you get. So I get loads of artwork now, and it's such a good way of seeing pictures. And I think one of them, the Hockney came up on there of his mother and father, and he's an amazing artist, isn't he?
And he's in his 80s now, isn't he? And he's still
really
going strong. Yeah,
And
amazing.
it's just like, I like dogs as well. It's just a simple little comment, isn't it?
I know. And off we went and started chatting, but he wanted to know if there was an audiobook, which there is. So
wow.
I'm hoping. I kind of sent him a message going, do let me know if you enjoyed it. So hopefully I will hear from him again.
And he's just a regular bloke, happy to comment. Fantastic.
Oh, it's just like, but you look and you go, no, made up. No, it's not. It's a kind of one of those accounts. And I checked, and I'm thinking, no, actually, that really is the David Hockney who wants to read my book. Well, it's like, wow, what?
Yes, yeah, right. Now, anyone struggling with rheumatoid arthritis, have you found a new and helpful way, approach, treatment here?
This was actually, we're going back almost 6 years now when I was diagnosed, and I went to the local health centre. Luckily, the doctor there was a temp, and she was into natural health. And this was the book she recommended to me. And actually, someone literally messaged me from reading my Living the Quieter Algarve Dream, where I talk about what happened there. And there's a little excerpt you can read this month. And said, what was the book? Because my wife's got RA and I really want to help her and get her off these meds. So I was kind of sharing. I thought, actually, I haven't told people actually in the book what the name of the book, because it's hard. You have to be careful on copyright on actually naming things in your own memoirs. So
is that right?
Anyone that wants to contact me, but I thought, well, I'll put it into this month's newsletter as well. But yeah, Wiles Protocol, Terry Wiles, she's an American. She's a GP. Very, very well respected, but literally had RA and ended up in a wheelchair. And through her protocol and the diet and the lifestyle changes, she ended up back horse riding and working full time.
So I never. There you go.
It's amazing. So
I
highly recommend it.
Or anyone yet? Very helpful. It's lovely to hear about books like that. It was oh my goodness. I've got someone in mind. I can't remember their name. I should have to come back to that. You come across a book that can change your life, basically, is what I'm saying. And isn't it lovely to have a book like that has such a profound impact on your life?
Absolutely.
Wow. Okay. Cat's questions. Interview time. Who's this character? Well, there are two characters.
There are two characters this month. Yes, Ken and Baxter. Baxter the dog and Ken. Just one of my subscribers who read every month and certainly started to send me pictures of himself and Baxter. And I said, right, we have to interview you. You're a real character and I want you in there. And he's a lovely guy. He's in the UK, but wonderful stories because he literally, and it fits because we tried to do a bit of a Remembrance Day kind of theme this month, as you probably spotted from the
Yes.
And the books that I reviewed this month as well.
Yeah, right, of course.
But Ken has his little motor scooter, you can see on the picture, but every year he goes on the Remembrance Day parade and he takes Baxter with him, as you can see on the picture there. And apparently he is famous for when the bugle plays the last post, Baxter sticks his head back and howls in time to the music.
Fantastic.
And he gets a round of applause and he's known for it locally where they live.
Yes.
Baxter joins in basically. So I
That
thought,
is wonderful.
Perfect story to join for November, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And Baxter, he arrived with a Greek dog passport, it says. And what a brilliant cross, though, the Basset and the Labrador. So a Labrador head quite clearly there. And then that head comes up, you're at a table. It's a Labrador. And he looked down, oh my goodness. He's a low rider.
Yeah.
He's a low rider as well.
Adorable. Yeah, Greek passport, but he actually came from Cyprus. So he's a very confused little dog, isn't he? In more than one way.
Yeah, and he can sing as well. I wonder if he's available.
Adorable.
Very good. Okay.
Adorable.
Roy here and Joel, I think, with some European Portuguese slang for you. Yeah, pa is a useful one, isn't it? As in mate.
I get it all the time. I've actually got a local here, Antonio, and I see him every morning at the cafe when I'm walking Zara, and I call him Epa now because that's Epa, the end of every. And you know, the more animated he gets, he's an old guy in his 70s. The louder Epa at the end of each sentence becomes, and it's just you hear him across the town.
Epa, oppa. It's a very useful word because it has many applications. You can
and if you're not sure what to say, you just reply with Epa.
Chuck it in there. Yeah, it's like mate. Yeah, mate. Okay, very good. Right. And have you treated yourself?
Well, yeah. Well, I like to make you feel hungry every month. I mean, it's part of the.
You've done it again. You've done it again. That looks delicious. I'll wolf that down right now.
New restaurant. Okay, so very quick story. If you're going out near here at Amarera, if you go the Monte Clerigo end and then turn to Amarera, and you end up at a dead end with a tiny little rustic cafe restaurant overlooking the beach. Fantastic views. But for years, in fairness, it was run by the most miserable Portuguese man you've ever met. I mean, he would never say it, but he would just, the minute you arrive, and he'd look at you and say, "You are spoiling the quiet by ordering
doing in this cafe?" Yes.
And he like, could I have a coffee? Oh, sorry to trouble you. Absolute nightmare. He's sold up to this wonderful new lad and his team who have taken it over, transformed the menu, turned it into a really chic, trendy, really nice food place. It's excellent. Look at that. I mean, that was my salad because I can only eat something. I went through the menu, told him the bits of the salad I could, and he put it all together like that for me. And Dave's was amazing. That was okay. So the one on the right of the pictures, zooming across on the right, is a tuna.
I was actually screenshotted that and sending it to somebody. Would you believe?
Okay, so this is a tuna. With obviously all the trimmings, but on top of it, you can just about see it, is mango sorbet. Bet you've never had that combo before. Dave said it was one of the nicest meals he's ever had out here.
They care. They give a what's it, don't they? And I do love those sorts of alfalfa type sprouts as well. They're so fresh and tasty, aren't they? Beautiful. There's a tuna salad with quite unusually put together and thoroughly delicious by the sound of it. Capitan! Change of management. It's safe to go back in there again.
It sure is, yeah.
And there, of course, your remembrance poppy. The poppy is such a photogenic and delightful flower, isn't it? I mean, they're in many forms as well, not just this red one. You get little pink ones as well, don't you? Get all sorts of beautiful poppies.
We get a lot of purple ones here as well. Really, really big purple, like huge, 3 times the size of a red one. Amazing.
Yeah. And yes, and they. I guess the wonderful thing about poppies is that they can grow. They're so delicate, aren't they? But they push up through concrete, side of roads. They're just a really great emblem, aren't they, for persistence?
We were really lucky. We had Andy, if you're listening, thank you. Years ago, do you remember all the poppies that were the guy made out of the ceramics for the remembress? And
yes, I do. Out. Yes.
He got hold of one and posted it out for us. So we've actually got one of our flower pots in the garden out here. I'm really proud of it. It's really, they're amazing. Yeah, there was one for every single British serviceman and woman that.
Do you remember that? I do remember that. Amazing.
Yeah, years ago now. Yeah. So we've got one of those. So yeah, it seemed a good theme for November this month.
So no question. Very good. Very good. Now I need to put the link to your magazine so people can get their own and subscribe to you. So doing that now.
Thank you,
and thank you very much for being here with. Where am I?
You're over on the right. You've moved.
Am I still here? Yeah, very good. I have my medication. Right, there you go. That's the link for getting your own copy of Snapshot. I get my very own every month, actually, everybody. I get my VIP GMP copy. JP, are you going to stick around for just a few more minutes? Because we've got a God Squad tip of the day, which is quite nice. It's chair-based. I saw you thought I was going to call in on election. I got caught up in all the proceedings. Sorry, I'll be sure to call in soon on another topic on your show. I can be your voice from the north. You'll have to form in a queue. We do have some voices from the north, but one more would be excellent. And of course, your very own JP voice from Porto. Justine. Do you know, it's funny, isn't it? When you see initials, in my mind, I had JP as a male. Not a Justine. Although you could be a male called Justine. I don't know. When you call, we will find out more about you. JP, thank you so much. And thank you for offering to be the voice in the north as well. Much appreciated. Okay, the God Squad tip of the day, which is lower back pain can be very debilitating. Stick a cabbage leaf on it And and seek medical help, of course. My dad suffered from it when he was in his early 60s. His physio gave him a simple sitting exercise to do every day, and it fixed him. Thank God Sean Connery is not doing this squad tip of the day. This one. Shall I do it in a Sean Connery voice?
Yeah, go.
As a physio gave him a simple sitting exercise to do every day, and it fixed him.
Your sitting sounded slightly
I
different.
know, that is how he says it.
There's a bit of a SH in there.
I'm going to carry on. I'm going to carry on for the rest of his life. He didn't have any more problems with his lower back, so I can recommend this exercise. Sit on a chair.
And clean it up later.
Why pit with a cabbage leaf?
Are you sure about this?
Okay, sit on a chair with your arms at your side. Look at this now. And of course, a straight back. As our parents told us, straight back. Slowly bend to one side, trying to touch the floor with your hand. It's important to keep your shoulders parallel with your hips. Okay. Go as far as you can and then come back up again. Fantastic. Repeat on the other side and do 15 to 20 reps on this. This works the lateral core muscles that support your lower back, which often have become weaker through a lack of use. Very good. Thanks for that God's God tip of the day. Loving the chair-based exercise. Ali, thank you so much. Sean Connery, I'm really sorry.
He might forgive you. I'll ask him.
He won't. Next time you see him down the Algarve, they'll ask him if he's all good with me. I'm good with munching, no problems there. Okay, thank you very much to you, Ali. Thank you, everybody. Have a great day, and we'll see you again tomorrow. We'll be with Filomena tomorrow, so if you do have any questions about the Portuguese language or culture, send them to me, and we'll have a lovely chat with Filomena tomorrow. Take care, Ali. Love to Dave. All the best.
Cheers, Carl. Thanks for this. Take care.
Cheers, bye.
Portugal, there's a YouTube show full of fun facts you need to know. Carl rings the bell and the members show to the GMP morning show. Featured guests will come and they will blow your mind. The audience will do so in kind. The little vanity mixed with some insanity on the morning show with GMP.